Mrs. Green Apple, we are continuing our track by track listen through to the album, which is called 12. I know they got an album called 10. I feel like at some point in this listen through, I'm going to accidentally call this one 10. And then when I do that one, I'm going to call it 12. These are confusing names. If someone can tell me why these albums are called what they're called, it'll probably help me a lot. I should have Googled that first. But no, I don't know why this album's called 12, but it's called 12. And that's the album we're listening to. We just finished with Aijo to Hokusaki, and with all of the Mrs. Green Apple I've listened to so far, I had to say it wasn't a song that I liked, but it didn't quite hit as hard as a lot of the other songs that I usually like from Mrs. Green Apple, so it's kind of like, it was a mid-tier song for me. But we're always honest on this channel, and that was an opener. It's early in their career. Next song is Speaking. It's got a music video, so this is one they clearly put front and center with a little bit of emphasis, up front and center on their first full-length album. Then we're going to have Public after this. So, Speaking. Fingers crossed. I want this to be a really good song. I really enjoyed Variety before this, and Progressive as well. They had a really good opening to their career, so I'm interested to see how they fare over their first full-length album. I really do like this this 5-piece era of Mrs. Green Apple as well. No disrespect to the current era, just I can't deny I've got a soft spot to the five-piece sound. So let's have a little look and see what we get from Speaking. And I'm hoping that this one is I'm hoping that the first song was just their kind of like volley that just kind of builds up the energy, and then they hit you with the singles. So let's see what we get. This is Speaking. Ooh, very rock energy. That's a build-up. The classroom music videos. Every band needs one. Nice mix of those pop sounds. There we go. It's much more straightforward, but everything's already hitting, Much punchier. It's got that single vibe about it. Rooftop! Everyone needs a rooftop in their music videos. I like that stabbing build-up in the pre-chorus. Get off your phone! The story of a girl who's turning me online. I love how they're playing on like old school meaning. This is a nice build-up. I like how they're using this kind of melody. Build us back up. Yeah, this is just effective, The melody builds up to the chorus. The chorus pays it off. The keyboard adds a bit of colour. Raining glitter. You can stop fighting for that. Okay, so this is such an interesting contrast to the last song. And I think this makes it a really good example of just like a good, effective single. Because the funny thing is, I can't remember what it was called now. There's another Mrs. Green Apple song, a much more recent one that I did a reaction to, where I think a few people said, oh, it's not really the best. It just sounds a little bit too like a straight pop song. And I remember saying, yeah, but it was effective. I was like, sometimes it can work. I mean, look, I am a great fan of songwriting. For me, I'm always going to have a little bit of a love for any song that's got loads of clever, nuanced ideas. But there is a lot to be said for a song that just kind of is effective. This is the interesting thing. As much as I usually have a bit of favoritism for songs that are a little bit more nuanced, when I hear this and then I hear the opening track had more ideas. It was more playful and clever in a lot of ways. But like I said, it just didn't feel like it 100% clicked. Yeah, I was always waiting for it to like click, get like everything come together for a chorus, or it's like you hear a nice idea, oh that's good, but wasn't really feeling so much, just kind of like, oh, this is clever, rather than wow, I'm enjoying this. This one, however, not a huge amount of super clever ideas, but big catchy chorus, fun use of keyboards in there. The way it builds up, it's very strongly melody focused. I mean, ironically, actually, this song even for the best part skipped out on the usual thing that Mrs. Green Apple do on all of their songs, where you have like two melodies, counter melodies in the mid range on either side. Usually like two guitars, or a guitar and a keyboard, a guitar piano or something. This didn't even bother with that for the best part. It was just kind of like a straight rock song. But it just kind of hit in all the right places. You had your little little refrain that you come round to, break up the rhythm, get everyone clapping along. You have your big chorus there, everyone can sing along to. You have that going on. The bass wasn't even doing that much, if I'm honest with you. The bass was pretty sedentary for most of this. But the song just kind of did enough to have a big punchy energy. And the funny thing is, I have to say, I wonder how much of that comes from the fact that it's coming off the back of Aijoto Hokusaki, which is a song which is much more, like I say, much more not quite getting to the point. It's just kind of like, it's still a good song. I sound like I'm slagging that song off. I enjoyed that song. But that song felt like it never quite hit its stride. And I think maybe coming from that into this gives this song extra quality, makes Speaking even more impactful perhaps. But I still feel like Speaking is the song that achieved, it kind of felt like it achieved more in the end. In the end, like I can see why it's a single basically. I always say this. One of the reasons why I love nuance and details in songs. I mean, partly because it gives them more re-listenability, but the other reason as well is because of the fact that it's songs, music all comes down to giving you a feeling. That's all that really matters. Do you feel something when you listen to it? And nuance just gives you more ways, more interesting and unique ways to make someone feel something. It's more artistically, you can do more artistically to make someone feel something by the end. That's why I love that kind of style of nuanced writing. However, like I say, this song, as straightforward as it was, I felt really like I was having a good time. I felt like I wanted to sing along. I felt like I wanted to clap along. It felt like a song that really just kind of, it has an anthemic quality. Is this their most re-listenable single? Maybe not. It's still early in their career. I don't blame them for that. Is it a single that definitely immediately grabs your attention, makes you want to sing along, just makes you feel good? Yeah. And that for me is its key quality. Also, again, I really appreciate the use of a proper melodic bridge that kind of builds you up to the final chorus. That was cool. The music video, so many tropes. So many tropes. Look, we've joked about this on this channel so many times. We even have a thing in our end of year awards now. We're coming up to, this will be the 8th annual end of year awards. And we always have an award which is for the best trope. So it'll be bands playing on Shibuya Crossing, bands playing on rooftops. This year we might have bands playing in classrooms. But yeah, how many bands have played a music video in a classroom at this angle? It's very popular. They even included the rooftop. They even included slow motion schoolgirls arguing and fighting and running. These are all tropes. It's a very trope heavy music video. And then the thing about having the glitter dropping at the end, it's like, it's just very trope heavy. Was it the most recent Wisteria video was super similar to this? But, you know, I will say, if it works, it works. And this was 10 years ago, so, you know, I think they can get away with it a bit more. A lot of the videos I'm thinking of have come since. So, you know, still, I enjoyed this. I thought this was a punchy, fun single. Is it going to be the song that I come back round to the most? Maybe not, because, like I said, they've got other singles that have a little bit more nuance and things to make the re-listens slightly more engaging. However, this was enjoyable, good single, good energy. Definitely, I enjoyed that. And the next song we got is also a single called Public. So that's where we're going to be going next. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Until I hopefully see you very soon in the next one. Get in the comments, tell me what you think. And for now, ciao, ciao.